fact that the significance of this election. India has strategic interests in the region. India has had and has very close ties with Sri Lanka. How do you view the India-Sri Lanka relationship from here on in the backdrop of what has happened in the last 2 years, the recovery that has happened, how it led to the 2022 turmoil, and most importantly, the trajectory from here on between Colombo and New Delhi?
When you talk of recovery, I must say in these very difficult times and dire times, India has been one of the countries that has been very generous and very supportive. And I would like to extend a very big thank you to the Indian government, Sri Modi's government, and also to the people of India and to the various states that have come forth to help our country.
Mm-hmm.
The state governments.
Yes.
So a big thank you. Now, having said that, I don't think Sri Lanka is in the correct path to recovery. A path that is ridden with human collateral damage.
You mentioned that about inequality and
That's
lack
right.
of justice.
So that type of recovery we cannot accept. That is not recovery. That is putting the burden of everything on the working people of the country while saving the super rich.
You mentioned that
can't happen.
You mentioned that.
That can't happen in that manner. So we will ensure that we have a very balanced policy.
Now I'm asking the India-Sri Lanka relationship.
So where India comes in is our external affairs policy will be to promote our national interest. We will do what is right by our country. And it is in the interest of our country to have cordial relations with India and the rest of the powers in the world and the rest of the nation states. We do recognize that we have a special relationship, a kinship, a camaraderie between our two countries, and we have a history of positive, progressive and good relationships. And we have to build upon that. And I think we will ensure that mutual interests that matter to both of us are accomplished in our external affairs.
That's wonderful. And where does then that leave the other big question, which is around China? It is a fairly significant player in the region. And the last couple of years, I've also seen a rise in Chinese investments, rise in Chinese naval presence in the region. How do you view the China equation for Sri Lanka and for the entire region?
Well, as I mentioned to you in our external relations, we have a special relationship with India, no doubt. But we also have to work with all of the other major nation states. I'm one of the few, actually I'm the only politician who has even proposed that India be included in the United Nations Security Council, because that is a clear reflection on the geopolitical status and reality of India. Having said that, we as a country, we will work with all other countries. We will work with all other democracies. We will work with all other nation states to ensure that Sri Lanka's national interests are achieved. And we will in no way work towards downgrading the security and geopolitical interests of others. Not so. We will be having extremely strategic relationships with all the other major nation states and ensure that our national interests are achieved and ensure that all relationships are based on mutual trust, constructive and progressive activities. So that will be the basis for our external policy.